Boy, hi, I'm Dan Gray, and welcome to Razor Sharp Music Productions, Making Money with Your Music. For you who are new to our channel, we're doing probably an 8-part segment on making money with your music. We're going to cover things like music contracts, music publishing, mechanical royalties, all the things you need to know if you're a music industry professional. If you're not, go ahead and click away. If you are, you might want to watch some of this. And in fact, please subscribe, and you'll be notified every time we're having a new segment. Again, we're going to cover things like contracts, publishing, mechanical royalties, streaming, downloads, all the things you need to know as a music industry professional. Today, we're covering budget and contracts. Now, I combine those two because actually budgeting is pretty short. You know, I mean, it's kind of a straightforward, kind of a common sense kind of thing, but you know, a lot of us don't have common sense sometimes. Sometimes, I don't know, it just seems to be very uncommon for us to have common sense. But at any rate, when you talk about starting a project, now how this relates to making money with your music is that if you are constantly doing projects and you're not succeeding, they're not going anywhere, then you get discouraged, you're not making any money, and you give up. But if you're making money with your music and you're excited about what you're doing, you're going to make better music and you're going to make more money. So I think that when you start your project, number one, even before you start it, I think the first thing you need to do is sit down and say, how much am I going to have to spend? Now, there's a lot of ways to do research. In fact, there's a 12-month calendar that Razor Sharp, it's a digital download. And with the digital download, you actually get an audio book with it as well that just covers what you need to cover as a music recording artist over the next 12 months to have any chance of being successful. You know, like budgeting, what you're going to need to spend money on, things like that. But I think that budgeting is so important because too many projects have fizzled out because they ran out of money. And you know, you got a video shoot, recording, mixing, mastering, background singers, I mean, what? Wardrobe? You got to consider all of that. If you want to have a chance of succeeding in the music business, you're going to have to sit down and really treat your career like a business. And number one, start with a budget. Straightforward, simple. What do I have to spend? Bam, pow, boom. Figure it out. Do the math. Next up is contracts. I think contracts is a little more detailed. We won't spend a whole lot of time on it because number one, I'm not an attorney and I can't give legal advice. But what we want to do, damn, what did I just say? But what I want to do is give you the benefit of my experience, what I do, what I understand. I mean, what is a contract? Can I legally tell you what a contract is? Sure I can. I'd imagine you can Google it, look it up. But you know, it's let me see. I have it written here, so if I kind of look down here, I'm kind of reading this. Contract is defined as an agreement to do or not to do a certain thing. For all intent and purposes, it should be in writing, but it can be verbal. Wow, can be verbal. Now I'm not a lawyer, but I mean, Google it, look it up. I don't know. Okay. But you need to understand some of the elements of a contract and understand how important it is to have a contract. Just to proceed with your projects, just to copyright things, to register things with your music affiliate, you're going to have an understanding with whoever you're working with. Okay, you do a song with a producer. Who owns the copyright of the song? And we're going to talk about copyright in another segment because songs are copyrighted in two different ways. There's two different copyrights on every song. And whoever owns the right copyright is the one that get paid mechanical royalties. So we'll talk about that in another segment. But at any rate, when you have a contract, you have more than a written agreement to do or not to do a certain thing. What you have is an understanding. You know what I'm saying? You got a meeting of the mind. We sit down, we talked about it. I get 40%, you get 60%. I get 90%, you get 10%. We sit down, we talked about it, we put it in writing. If money comes in, we don't have a problem. That's the main thing. But let's talk about the actual structure of a contract. I mean, what are some of the things that you really need to include as far as the way it's structured, the elements of it? Well, I looked it up, and anybody can do it. It's just, you know, there's 4 elements to a contract, basically, to something that you can say, hey, you know what, I included these elements, and it's solid enough that if we go to court, chances are I'm going to win. The parties to the contract must be capable of contracting, meaning that you can't do a contract with a minor or a crazy person. I mean, that makes sense, right? That's number one. They got to be capable of contracting with you. So you know you're not going to do a contract with someone under 18 years old to record and do business with you because they're underage. Keep that in mind. If you are a type of producer that deals with young people, or you are a manager and you're dealing with someone that's underage, keep in mind that you can't contract with them. You're going to have to deal with their parents. But I'm going to stop right there because I can't give legal advice, but understand the elements of a contract. One, they got to be of legal age. They got to be capable. You have things called emancipation and all of that. That's why I'm going to stop it there and just say you can't do a contract with a minor or a crazy person. That's number one. Number two, you must have mutual consent. I think we both need to agree, you know, you do this for me, I'll do this for you, you know. I'll pay for all the studio time and everything and the producer, and you get in there and you do that song and you perform on stage and you make it a hit and we'll split the money, you know. Mutual consent. I mean, you can't put a gun on someone here to make them sign a contract. I mean, they'll sign it, but that's called duress. You're making them do it. You're like forcing them to do it. Number three, a lawful objective. Well, listen, man, I want to hire you to kill my wife, you know. A week later, you didn't do it, I'm suing you, man. I'm going to take you to court. You didn't kill my wife like we agreed. Well, it ain't going to happen. Lawful objective. Lawful objective. Okay? Sounds reasonable to me. And lastly, number four, consideration. Hey, you do this to me, I'll give you this. You give me that, I'll give you this. Consideration. You're doing it for a reason. You're getting something out of it. And those really, if you include that in the contract, even if it's handwritten, I think that any reasonable person would think, okay, yeah, you know, this is most likely what's going on here. This is most likely what happened. Okay, so put everything in writing. Everything. Don't trust nothing. In this business, put it in writing, get you a file cabinet, a little firebox, you know, and protect your documents, because in the end, that's what the courts are going to recognize. You know, I look at people like Berry Gordy. I don't ever remember Berry Gordy. Now, he was a talented musician, I understand, but I don't ever remember seeing him on stage or anything like that. But he's probably still one of the most wealthiest music industry moguls today. And why is that? Music publishing, copyright ownership, that back-end business. But number one, contracts. Put everything in writing. Make sure there's a meeting of the mind. You know, you can actually get some sample contracts from Making Money With Your Music, the New Millennium, but you have to get the PDF version or the Kindle version, because the contracts, they come with that. And you can actually use those. It's worth it. This stuff is pennies. You know, there's digital downloads on Razor Sharp website, like the 12-month recording artist marketing plan. Helps you to guide and instruct and kind of help you along the way on establishing a good, solid music career. What you need to accomplish each month, from month 1 through 4, 4 through 8, 8 through 12, all the way down the line. You need to, you know, do your recording, you need to register your songs, you need to register yourself, you need to select a producer. You know, it gives you all these ideals on what you should be accomplishing. I suggest downloading it. You also get the audio version of that also, where the instructors explain it to you and you've got the actual PDF download. You can make your notes. This stuff is good, instrumental in helping you to become a solid music recording artist and making money. I mean, ultimately, you want to make money. You can't pay bills with, oh, I just love the music, and it's just, you can't pay your bills with that. Listen, I ain't young. Dan Gray, see all that Gray? Been around the block a few times. Why am I doing this? Because I want you to download some of the stuff so I can get a commission, of course. But it's worth it. You need a point of music industry education where you can access information to help you to understand your occupation, your career, your goals. Okay, I think that's it. My name's Dan Gray. Thank you for tuning in. Next, we'll be talking about, oh my gosh, publishing and writer's royalties. That's a good one. If you're in the music business, you're new or you're an old timer, I think you should be tuning in. You should subscribe because this is good stuff. We suggest a lot of audio books, digital downloads, a lot of information to help you to be successful in the business. And with that said, I'm out.